Hi, welcome to Maggie Chats Books. Today I'm going to do my Autumn Read-a-Thon wrap-up. The Autumn Read-a-Thon was started by Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings. This was in celebration of her 30,000 subscribers, so congratulations to her. Mercedes gave us 4 main challenges and 2 bonus challenges for this read-a-thon. I was able to complete one of the main challenges and both of the bonus challenges, so this is what I read. Of the 4 main challenges, I completed challenge number 2, which was to read a nonfiction book that reminds you of autumn or was autumnal. So I picked Undefeated by Steve Sheinkin. This is the story of the Carlisle football team that went undefeated. This was in the early 1900s. Carlisle was an Indian school that was created by an army officer just to try to take the Native American out of Native Americans and make them more white. So the school in itself was a pretty horrible concept in that it took away their traditions, didn't allow them to speak their own languages and things like that. The positive part of the school was that they built a football team that went undefeated, which was unheard of because they were playing teams like Harvard and Yale and Columbia and places like that. The story in itself of that is really, really interesting, but it also gives you a history lesson of how football started and was created. But it also brings in a story of Pop Warner, who is one of the most famous coaches in the early 1900s. His name is also associated now with youth programs to deal with sports and cheerleading. I found the story very interesting. I liked all the historical facts. I liked the story and the fact that you get more about Jim Thorpe in his early days, his growing up, his time at the school, and also just a little bit of when he was an Olympian. So I give this one 4 stars and really recommend it. The first bonus challenge was to read a short story collection, so I read What the World Would Look Like When All the Water Leaves Us by Laura Vandenberg. This is a collection of 8 short stories. The protagonists are all female. They range from the age of 16 to approximately 35, I believe. And all of them are going through a part of their life that requires them to make a decision to change. Laura Vandenberg builds this entire life, I feel like, and then throws the reader in the middle of it, lets you watch what's going on and observe, and then pulls you out before any resolution is made, which normally I wouldn't like, but I think in these 8 short stories it really works. There are, as I said, people that need to decide to change their path. And in one story, a character says, people don't change, which I think is the problem that these people are going through. They have chosen a path that isn't working for them, and they've failed. They want to change their path, but because they themselves don't change, they're afraid they may fail again. I don't know. That's what I got out of it. There are also themes of dying and death and loneliness. And I really found all the stories, although I read them all in one go in an evening, I felt that they were 8 individual stories with kind of a theme running through them, but they all remained separate in my head. So a week after reading this, I'm still thinking about it. I think it's a 4-star book. I would really like to know if anybody else has read this and what they thought of it, because it's unusual. It's not a normal short story collection that I would normally go for. But anyway, I think it was very good. I definitely enjoyed it. 4 stars. And the last bonus challenge was to read an adult novel with a young female protagonist. So I took a recommendation from Mercedes from a video with the same title with her recommendations. And the book I chose was The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake. I got this on audiobook and it's read by the author. You start out with a 9-year-old girl whose birthday is coming up. Her mother makes her a lemon cake. And after she tastes it, she can feel the emotions of her mother, which is sad because her mother's going through an awful lot in her life that she is kind of hidden. And then as she goes on, she tastes other things, like in restaurants and other places, and she can feel the emotions of the people that cooked it. So it really interferes, I think, with the normal emotions that a young girl goes through as she's heading into puberty and teens and then young adulthood. You follow this character through her 20s and you feel that she is alone and she's trying to find her place in the world. And then she has an older brother who is very, very smart, but he's trying to find how he can remove himself from the world. So there's that opposites of the two of them, and then she also wants to make a connection to him, which she's not willing to do. Her parents are going through an awful lot as well, and she's dealing with all these things pretty much on her own. There's another character named George, who is her brother's friend, that she kind of has a crush on, but he's quite older. And that shows how she's developing emotionally, and I like how that story went. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this. I do recommend listening to the audiobook as it's read by the author, but it's almost done in monotone, which makes you believe that it is a 9 to 20-something-year-old speaking. And I really enjoyed that part of it. I also gave this book 4 stars. It was really well done. I did read some reviews on Goodreads where people did not like it. It was almost 50-50. Some people absolutely loved it and other people just did not like it at all. So you have to take in this kind of fantasy world too, where she can taste emotions and her brother has another thing going on as well. But I enjoyed that part of it because it helped me get into the characters more, if that makes sense. So I do recommend all 3 books that I read for the Autumn Read-a-Thon. If you read any of these, please let me know what you thought of them. That is all for now. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.